Hey everybody, it's your friend Jason Pound here answering the top questions asked by home buyers in today's real estate market. The question we're tackling today, what is the biggest gamble you see new home buyers taking in today's real estate market? The short answer is skipping the final walkthrough. As usual, however, let me over-explain. In the state of Oklahoma, and I am assuming that this is a common practice in other states as well, typically the day of, if not the day before, you go to the closing table to sign all of the documents to close on your brand new home. It's tradition in Oklahoma that the day of or the day before, the buyer and the realtor together go walk the property. And the main reason you're doing that is in the contract, there's a clause called paragraph 7E that says the seller must turn over the property in, I forget the word it uses, but I'm going to use the word very similar or substantially similar condition as the day the contract was signed. Now, your typical real estate contract takes about 30 days to close. So if you sign a contract at the first of the month and you close on the 30th of the month, there's a lot that could have happened to that home in that 30-day period. There could have been a hailstorm that messed up the roof. There could have been some wind or tornadoes that knocked trees and did some damage. Could have been a fire. In the process of moving, the sellers could have done some damage to it. More particularly, actually today, Jerica and our clients are at the closing table right now signing documents. But we scheduled the final walkthrough the morning of closing. And Jerica shows up with her checklist and she's walking around looking to make sure that everything is proper as it should be. And we get to the second bedroom and there was a built-in Murphy bed that was very appealing and one of the draws of the property and one of the reasons that property was chosen. And that Murphy bed had been not only removed, but in the process of removal, they had damaged the wall. It had been screwed and bolted to the wall. Those had been removed. There were gaping holes in the wall. Scratches and damages had been done. And then in the moving process, some corners had been damaged to the walls throughout the house as they were moving. And as they were scooting furniture around, they had put fresh stains on the carpet. So the property was no longer in the original condition that as it was when we made our offer. And there's also a paragraph called paragraph 4 in the contract that addresses attached accessories, equipment, and systems. And unless they have been specifically reserved, if something is attached to the wall, it is not your right as a seller to take it with you. You don't get to take the light fixtures. You don't get to take the blinds. You don't get to take the curtain poles. You don't get to take the TV fixtures. You don't get to take the Murphy bed. So we're sitting there literally 2 hours before closing, staring at this damaged house that is no longer what we thought it was. And the sellers are buying a house out of state. And their funds were very, very tight. It had been a contingent transaction. So now the question becomes, how do we resolve this? Because if we go ahead and sign the closing documents today, we're never going to get this situation resolved. We have to put our peg leg in a hole and stand up for our client and go negotiate. And that's what we did. And we threatened to back out of the deal. And we either wanted the Murphy bed or we wanted compensation for the damage that had been done in the missing Murphy bed. And all said and done, There was a cash credit that was exchanged, and there was some additional pool equipment that was negotiated to be left. And the sellers, while not necessarily happy, reached a compromise. And the buyers, while not necessarily happy, reached a compromise. And that's typically the sign of a good compromise. If everybody's a little unhappy, that means everybody put some skin in the game. Now me, I wanted to walk away and kill the deal. I wanted that bed back, and I wanted it installed, and I wanted the damage repaired. Otherwise, you can keep your house. And good luck buying your out-of-state house, because you're now going to have to go back on the market, which is probably going to take you another 30 days to market it. And then it'll take another 30 days to close. So you're probably looking at 60 days, and you're probably going to have to cancel your contract out of state. And you've already spent appraisal money. You've already spent inspection money. I felt that we had them over a barrel and we could have negotiated harder. But the seller was ready, or the buyer was ready to move on once we hit a certain amount of compensation. So if you're a new realtor, don't forget to schedule the walkthrough. Also, don't insert your opinions. Let your client know what's going on, let them know the data, but let them make the decision. If it was up to me, my buyer would not be moving into a new house today. We would be closing next week after this had been resolved. But hey, it's my buyer's life, not my life. So all that being said, in real estate, trust but verify. Know the contract, know your rights. That way, when it's time to fight, you know if you're on the side of justice or you're about to enter into a coin flip and you don't know what's about to happen. My name's Jason Pound with Jericho Pound Realty Group, Keller Williams, Mullenix, and Norman. We service the entire Oklahoma City metro area, basically from El Reno to Shawnee, from Pink all the way up to Guthrie. If we can be of service, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to serve. In the meantime, peace out. Have a great life.